Thailand is a scuba diving paradise. From vibrant coral reefs to mysterious shipwrecks and even whale sharks. It's got it all. But if you're planning a dive trip, there are some crucial things you need to know before plunging into the water. I learned to dive in Thailand around 7 years ago, and while I'm not an expert diver, I've taken multiple dive trips around the country's best dive sites. This video covers 9 things I wish I knew before coming to Thailand to dive. These tips will help you stay safe, save money, and have the best diving experience possible. In the video, I'll cover the best places to dive, even if you're a total beginner, what happens in an emergency dive situation, as well as the top marine life that you can hope to see in Thailand, as well as some that you need to avoid. So let's dive in. If you've never dived before, there's one spot in Thailand that's practically made for beginners. It's got calm, warm waters with excellent visibility, making it ideal for those who are just starting out. Plus, it's home to some of the most affordable dive schools in the entire world, where you can get your PADI open water certification for as little as 9,000 to 12,000 baht. You'll need this certification to be able to dive anywhere in the world, and they'll allow you to dive up to 18 meters. Most packages include everything: equipment, expert instruction, and 4 open water dives. And you'll be fully certified to dive in just 3 to 4 days. The best place in Thailand to learn to dive to get your certification is the island of Koh Tao in the Gulf of Thailand. But it's not just the cheap prices that make it the best place to learn to dive. The island's unique geography means that at least one side has calm waters almost all year round. So conditions are almost always perfect for learning. When I learned to dive here, I found everything so straightforward, and I've since learned that it's not always that easy. There was also an abundance of underwater wildlife to experience too. What's more is because it's such a popular diving spot, expert dive instructors from all around the world are located here. So you'll be learning to dive from instructors who've had hundreds or even thousands of dives, and they'll make sure that you feel safe and secure throughout the process. This is why Koh Tao is known as Thailand's dive factory. But what if you don't have a certificate and you don't have time on your trip to do a diving course? Can you still dive? Absolutely. If you just want to try out a dive to see what it's like, you don't have to commit to a 3-day PADI open water course. You can do what's usually known as a fun dive or a discover dive. This is a 1-day experience where a certified instructor teaches you the basics and takes you on a shallow dive of no more than 12 meters. Sometimes these are even done by walking from the shore, so you don't actually have to dive. It's perfect for those who want to get their feet wet, water joke, without needing a full certification. But remember, after that one dive, you'll need a guide for any future dives you do until you're certified. But some of the best dive sites in Thailand can only be accessed with the Advanced Diving Certificate. With the PADI Advanced Diving Certificate, you can dive up to 30 meters, which opens the door to deeper, more exciting dive sites. A lot of the bigger creatures in the ocean like to lurk closer to the seabed, so you have a better chance of seeing the best marine life if you take the advanced course. You'll also get to undertake specialty dives like night diving, wreck diving, cave diving, and underwater photography. The course takes just a couple of days and costs around 8,000 to 10,000 baht. If you're serious about diving, it's totally worth it. When I first did my PADI open water, I loved it so much I actually went straight ahead and just went in the advanced diving course just after a few days. And at the time, I felt that this extra experience made me really improve my skills and comfort level in the water. But if you actually want to get paid to dive, Thailand is the perfect place to undertake the Dive Master course. Not only will you get to dive every day in some of the most beautiful spots on the planet, but you'll also gain in-depth knowledge of the local marine life and have plenty of chances to improve your skills as you help thousands of people come to Thailand every day to undertake their first dives. But what are the best dive sites in Thailand? There are lots of world-class dive sites in the country, but here are a few that you don't want to miss. In the Gulf of Thailand, there's one legendary dive site that stands above all others. Known as Sail Rock, this site is located between Koh Tao and Koh Phangan. This is one of the more remote dive sites, taking over an hour by boat from either island. One of the highlights of this dive is the Chimney, a vertical rock formation that you can swim up through that starts at 18 meters below sea level and brings you up to 8 meters. This is the dive where I saw the most fish I've ever seen, with huge schools of barracuda swimming together in unison. Also a massive group of fish in trevally. For me, this dive site was like an underwater safari. If you're there at the right time of year, this site is one of the best spots in the country to swim with whale sharks as well. This site can be done with just the open water certificate, but it's best experienced at around 30 meters, so it's better to have the advanced certificate. But Thailand is home to a number of fascinating and frankly eerie wreck dive sites. By far the biggest wreck at the bottom of the Thai Ocean lies off the coast of Koh Chang. The HTMS Chang is a former US naval ship that served in both the Korean and Vietnam War before being donated to the Thai Navy. In 2012, it was sunk to create an artificial reef and has since become one of the most famous wreck dives in Thailand. Resting at depths between 20 to 30 meters, you can explore its vast decks, swim through the eerie cargo holds, and spot marine life that have made the ship their home. What stood out most to me when I did this dive was spiraling around the mast as we ascended to feel like we were flying above the ship. This is the HTMS Chang, and it's the biggest diveable wreck in Thailand. And if you're serious about diving, you should try a liveaboard boat experience where you'll live on a boat for a few days, diving at multiple pristine sites each day. The best location in Thailand to do a liveaboard is the Similan Islands, which are located in the Andaman Sea over 80 kilometers away from Phuket. The Similans are consistently ranked among the top 10 dive sites in the world. You'll see everything from massive coral gardens to manta rays and leopard sharks. These trips are a bit more expensive, ranging from 30,000 baht for a few days to 80,000 baht for longer expeditions. But what most first-time divers in Thailand don't realize is that the country is actually surrounded by two completely different bodies of water, and they each offer a totally unique diving experience. If you look at Thailand on a map, you can see these two bodies of water are separated by the entire Thai peninsula, which means that they have their own distinct marine ecosystems, water conditions, and even dive seasons. So choosing between the Andaman Sea and the Gulf of Thailand can have a big impact on your diving experience. So what are the differences? Well, the Andaman Sea is famous for its bigger species of fish. If you've ever dreamt of diving alongside manta rays, whale sharks, or leopard sharks, this is the place to be. There is also more soft coral in the Andaman, which is home to some species of fish that you can't see in the Gulf of Thailand. But it's not just about the sights. The Andaman also offers a bit more of a challenge. Dive sites like Richilao Rock and Similan Islands are known for their strong currents and deeper dives, making them ideal for more experienced divers looking to test their skills and push their limits. I actually had a bit of a scary moment over in the Andaman when diving on Koh Lipe. It was the first time I'd experienced strong currents. Our instructor signaled for us to get down below the current, but I was unable to manage it. I ended up getting caught in the current and blew away like Mary Poppins. The instructor came and get me, but we had to surface. If you're a beginner diver or just looking for some easy laid-back dives, the Gulf of Thailand is your best bet. I've already spoken about the benefits of learning to dive in Koh Tao. It's known for its shallow, easy dive sites with little current, and it's one of the cheapest places to learn. But the biggest deciding factor for which side to dive on might be the time of year. Because these two seas are on opposite sides of the country, their best dive seasons are completely opposite too. The Andaman Sea is at its best between November and April. That's when the water is calm and the skies are clear. This is also when larger marine life like manta rays and whale sharks are most likely to appear. But from May to October, the monsoons roll in, making diving a no-go. Meanwhile, the Gulf of Thailand has the best weather between May and September, just when the Andaman is getting hit by storms. So depending on when you visit in Thailand, your choice might already be made for you. But how safe is it to dive in Thailand? And what happens in an emergency? With so many people coming to the country to dive, accidents can happen, and there are a number of scuba diving related deaths every year. Reputable dive companies will always make diver safety the #1 priority. Before every dive, you'll have a dive briefing with your instructor where they'll go over specific instructions for things to do if things go wrong, including entry and exit points, maximum depth, dive time, and potential hazards specific to that site like strong currents. If something goes wrong on a dive, even if it's just with one diver, all divers have to prepare to ascend immediately. There's no waiting around to finish your dive and to get your money's worth. But one of the most dangerous aspects of diving comes from decompression sickness, or what divers call the bends. This happens when you ascend from a dive too quickly, and it can be really dangerous. If you are suspected of having the bends, you need to get to a pressurized room known as a hyperbaric chamber quickly. This room can help the nitrogen to leave your body safely. Luckily, despite being expensive pieces of kit, Thailand is well equipped with hyperbaric chambers, and they can be found in Bangkok, Phuket, Koh Samui, and Koh Tao, as well as other places. You probably won't think you need it until you do, but dive insurance is an absolute must. Diving accidents can be expensive. Hyperbaric chambers alone cost upwards of $10,000, not to mention medical evacuations if you're far from a hospital. So make sure you're covered for diving-related accidents and emergency treatments. Most dive schools will offer this as part of their package because diving incidents are not covered by most medical insurance. But one thing that's especially important to consider on a dive trip is choosing the right place to stay. In most major diving spots, you're going to be faced with an interesting dilemma. Should I book my own accommodation or book a stay at the dive school? Now, there are some obvious advantages to booking a stay at a dive school. Some of them actually offer discounts on dives or paddy courses if you book a few nights at their hotel too. It also makes getting ready for the dives really convenient. Just wake up, get dressed, and you're already at the dive school. It also makes it easy to meet new people because you'll be surrounded by other divers who you'll be spending the day with on boats. The only potential disadvantage is if you're the kind of person who wants a bit of space from the people that you meet and spend time with during the day. Personally, I like my space, so might not want to be with the people from the dive boat in the evenings too. Dive school accommodations also tend to be quite basic, so if you're looking for more luxury hotels, you might want to skip them. If you want to take away the stress from choosing hotels and putting together your dream scuba trip in Thailand, get in touch through the link down below, and I'll help you put your dream trip to Thailand together. But what every diver wants to know is what kind of wildlife can you see beneath the waves? Here are a list of some of the coolest creatures you can see in the Thai Ocean. Thailand is one of the few places where you can swim with whale sharks. They're the largest fish in the sea, growing up to 12 meters. They might be massive, but they're actually harmless to humans. Swimming alongside these is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Manta rays with wingspans up to 7 meters are often spotted in the Similan Islands and Koh Bon. The best time to see them is between February to April. But have you ever wanted to swim with sharks? Don't worry, there's no great whites here. the water is far too warm for them. In fact, there's only been one fatal shark attack in Thailand since the records began in the 1970s, so there's no need to worry. Well, unless you were that one guy that died. So what sharks can you see? Known for their striking spotted patterns, leopard sharks are common in the Andaman Sea, especially around Phi Islands and Shark Point, but you can also find black tick-breed sharks that grow up to 1.5 meters. In both the Andaman and the Gulf of Thailand, check out the dive sites around Shark Bay and Koh Tao. Also around Shark Bay and Koh Tao is one of the oldest and largest creatures on the island. He's been named George by the local dive experts, and you can find him pretty much every day swimming around the southern tip of the island. He is one of a number of green turtles that populate the oceans of Thailand. Green turtles are some of the biggest turtles in the world, growing up to about 1.5 meters long. Now that's a big turtle. They can live up to 8 years old and are especially active around their nesting season, which takes place between May and August. While it's rare to get hurt by the marine life in Thailand, there are a few creatures you should be cautious around. One of the main ones to keep an eye on is the sea snake. These snakes are highly venomous, but luckily they're not aggressive and usually swim away if they see you. Another one to watch out for is the lionfish. Easily recognized by its long flowing fins and bold stripes. Though beautiful, their spines can deliver a painful sting. However, the one creature you absolutely must avoid is the box jellyfish. Its sting causes excruciating pain and can be deadly, so steer clear of jellyfish at all costs. Despite their intimidating appearance, giant moray eels are actually harmless to divers. These impressive creatures grow up to 3 meters long and are often found hiding in crevices throughout Thailand's waters. If you want the best chance of spotting one, go for a night dive. That's when these eels are most active and come out to hunt. But one of the smallest animals in the ocean is the tiny but eye-catching nudibranch that come in neon colors and intricate patterns. These vibrant sea slugs are perfect for practicing macro photography. But the Thai oceans are filled with a range of stunning, colorful tropical fish, including parrotfish, clownfish, butterflyfish, triggerfish, and pufferfish. But diving is just one piece that makes the Thai islands amazing. Every island has its own unique vibe and things to offer. So check out this video to discover the 10 best islands in Thailand that you absolutely need to visit.